Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better Show with your hosts LeeSilber and Ellen Goodwin.
Welcome to another episode of the Faster, Easier, Better Show. I'm your co-host, Ellen Goodwin, along with my co-host,
LeeSilber. Oh, wait a minute, that's a mistake. That's a good segue because I got an email with another question that the listener said they'd like us to cover. So I thought I'd bring it to you and see what you have to say. And then I have a few thoughts on it as well. And some of the ones I left out, my answers are, that's so obvious, so cliche. I try to look, but they're cliches because they're that common, that popular, that
right.
that well. But the question was, the why? They want to know the why. What mistakes am I making that causes me to end the day with a long list of things on my to-do list that I never got done, and a bunch of stuff that I did get done that wasn't on my to-do list or wasn't important. And months go by. This is the question in a nutshell. Months go by, and I feel like I'm not getting anything of value done. I'm just treading water. I don't know. It was a long question.
That's a long question.
It was long. Well, haven't you ever been, you give a speech and the audience has a question, they're rambling, they're monologuing. I'm like, is there a question in there?
Is there a question in there?
The question in there was, what mistakes am I making that might cause me to not be as efficient as possible?
Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
There's lots of them. Well, I'm going to pop in with one that applies to a client of mine who we've just been working with this in the last week. And he was having that same sort of thing, that he was feeling like at the end of the day, he wasn't getting anything accomplished. And for him, it turned out he was getting things accomplished. He just wasn't remembering that he was doing that, because some of it maybe wasn't, a big thing that he got done. But it was frustrating because at the end of the day, he wasn't feeling like he gotten ahead. So now at the end of each focus session, he writes down what he accomplished. Even if it's, I got 2 paragraphs written that I really like, or, I did this and I focused for 15 minutes. But he does that so that at the end of the day, he can look at the list and go, oh yeah, I got those things done. So it motivated him to keep going.
I like that. That's not even on my list. So that's great. That's perfect. Let's see. I'm looking at my list of answers. I would say one thing is it's one answer with 2 meanings. Perfectionism.
Oh yeah.
And I think that we are just too hard on ourselves. We make a to-do list that's impossible to accomplish. So no wonder you feel like a failure, because you had no shot. You had no chance. And perfection isn't getting everything done, and then you're not trying hard enough, right? It's somewhere in the middle where you're pushing yourself to do more than you think you can, but not so much that you feel like a failure. And so it could be just you're trying to do too much in one day. And the other thing is you're trying to do every single thing you do perfectly when some things just need to get done. And, we spend too much time on something that doesn't really matter, and then we don't have time for the thing that really matters, meaning I have that issue where, I make my to-do list and my handwriting has to be perfect, or, and who cares? No one else sees it. No one knows. I do it for me.
Right.
But now I try and do it for me faster. So the point is perfectionism is one that I think definitely is important. And, it's the why. It's like the underlying reason is that we're perfectionists, a lot of us. Another thing is we don't value our time enough. And so we just give it away. Or we don't feel we're worthy enough to have an amount of time where we have no interruptions and no distractions, and we deserve to have some time to really focus. It's us. We don't feel worthy. And because of that, sure, I'll help you. You got a minute? Actually, you don't have a minute, but you give it to them.
Right. If you don't own your day, someone else will. So, I think one of the great things to do is to have an outline for your day. I know you're talking about this person asking, hey, my to-do list is not getting accomplished. Figure out your 3 to 5 big things you need to accomplish that day. Rather than having this whole list that makes your brain go crazy, have 3 to 5 things that you need to accomplish. And number one, that feels a lot more doable, and you're going to work towards it. If you have 15 things on a list, your brain just goes, no way. But 3, wow, I can knock those out. So make your list a little bit less crazy.
Yeah, I agree. And I also would say we talked about what to do in the middle of the day in a previous episode.
Yeah.
But if you look at the most efficient, effective, productive, successful people, they don't waste their mornings. I know it's hard for those of you who like to sleep in, but I have found that when I get up early, I start the day with, there's less distractions at 6 a.m. There's less, it's a fresh start. It's fresh, everything's fresh and new. I just get more done. At the end of the day, if something goes wrong, it's not going to go wrong at 6 or 7 or 8 in the morning. It's going to go wrong somewhere around 10 or 11 or 2, right? Where,
Right.
I need this right away. Can you drop everything and do it? Okay, because I already got everything done. If it's worthy, meaning there is urgent, urgent and important. And when they're both, it is urgent and is important. And yeah, you do need to drop everything, and you can because you already got your 1 or 3 things done early. I know that sounds so cliche, but I just found that so many people I know that are really successful, they don't even go to bed early. They just get up early and they get to work on the important stuff first. First things first. I know no one wants to hear that, or you're hearing it for the 100th time, but there it is.
Perfect. Well, that's the answer for your question you had. So I would like to remind everyone to like, rate, and review our podcast. One day soon, Lee and I will be back in the studio together. We're still looking forward to that day. But in the meantime, we'll be here every week with a new episode of the Faster, Easier, Better Show.